everybody, it's Christine. It is time for a process video, and I'm hitting 3 of my little hop things today. The first one is Miss Tara at the Paper Snob. She's got 500 subbies, so we are celebrating her, and she asked us to do stitching and a selfie. Now, she did say it was okay if we did faux stitching, so I do have some stamps here that is stitching, so I'll use these some kind of way. And then the Iron Crafter with Peace Craft Love is this challenge is to use alpha stickers. So I've pulled out this Simple Stories book of, it says Simple Vintage Essentials. And there's various different alpha stickers in here. There's also titles and things, so I may incorporate those too, but there's different little titles here, and I'm kind of loving this one too. So I'll pick something out of there. And then also I'm going to be using my Counterfeit Kit challenge kit here, just because I need to use it, right? So I will be working with that. So that's what I'm working on. Oh, the other nice thing is this, I have these little stitch buttons on here, so that could be cute because of the stitching. So I need to pick out, oh, the last thing here too, and I picked out a Scrap-A-Sketch with Lisa Sikorsky's Facebook group. It's Scrap-A-Sketch 63, and this has 2 photos. I haven't decided yet if I'm going to just go ahead and just use this one photo here. It's just a selfie because Tara asked for a selfie. Or if I'm going to add a little journaling card with it. I mean, I know I'm just using the one photo. I just don't know if I'm going to do it as one or go ahead and do a journaling card. I have to look at the little cut-aparts in here because there are some cut-aparts in the collection. But it's kind of got neat because it's got these 3 different like pattern papers on like a base. It has a lot of mixed media behind there. And then, of course, comes with embellishment clusters. So I thought it was a good sketch to use. So that's what I'm starting with. So let me pick out my papers and I'll be back on in just a minute. Okay, gang, quick check-in. I have found this little diagonal stripe here. I'm going to trim off that little snail deal. And then I decided I'm going to use this. I think this is really pretty. So this will be like my bottom left, or bottom right rather. And then I'll use this side kind of next to it. And then I like this little pink and brown floral here. And then I did find this little, I cut it out already. It's this little cut apart. It says lovely, lovely, lovely. Lovely, lovely, lovely. I forget which direction. And I'm probably going to get some white cardstock too, but that's neither here nor there at the moment. So that's what I'm starting with in the paper side here, and I'll be back on. Okay, gang, I decided to do a little time lapse here to show y'all how I made the little triangle-y pieces. And honestly, I just kind of eyeballed the like heights and sizes and stuff, used my pencil and then just drew a line. I would have tried to use my cutter, but the way you have to lay those papers in there kind of at a diagonal and stuff, it just ends up being too like long for the cutter. So I just kind of puzzle pieced it together right here. I think this turned out really cute. Actually, I wasn't too unhappy with how I kind of figured that out. I was like, okay, that looks kind of like the sketch. Here is now where I am making the 2 little square photo map pieces behind. I did already mount the photo and the journaling, not journaling card really, but the little cut apart card on white cardstock. Now, if I'm honest with you, the patterns on the 2 papers here, they're tone on tone and they're kind of a repeating pattern. So you wouldn't think they have a direction necessarily, but I have to admit, I feel like I had to turn them sideways, and I don't really know if they really are sideways. They just feel sideways to me. I'm not upset about it. I just think it's an interesting observation because they're like little cross hatches and like little flowers. So why would it feel sideways? I really don't know, but it's okay. But that's the way my scraps were. So that's what I needed to do. So here's where I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, I want to mount this on this white cardstock. I have already gutted it. That actually is what I used in the photo matting. And I go, okay, you're a tad too big, so I just need to trim you. And I'm not gonna lie, y'all, I have a little bit of trouble here. I don't know, I think I cut it a little bit crooked. And then when I go to lay it down, I definitely mess it up. So I'm going to cut some of that out so it gets a little bit choppy in a second because I lay it down there. I have my ATG. I lay it down there, and I realize you're way crooked. And so I start to peel it up and move it around. And, y'all, I'm not going to lie, it definitely goes on a little bit crooked. And so you'll see me also start to scuff the edges. Sometimes the solution, if you're kind of close, but you're not quite there. See, here's where I'm kind of going, okay, maybe you're okay. Maybe I didn't cut it down enough too. That might be the other issue. But I try to lay this thing down and I lay it here and then I start putting the other tape on there and then it goes crooked and I start peeling it up. And I'm like, oh my gosh, y'all. Like I said, it ends up okay, but I do end up having to scuff the edges just to make it look like where it ended up was kind of on purpose. And maybe I kind of moved it a little bit when I was trying to lay it down too. See how crooked that is? Look at that, y'all. You can't even see the white mat on that corner there. Here's where I'm peeling it up. So anyway, I start fighting with this just a minute, so I don't like you watch me do that. Here's where I finally decide, okay, you're just about as good as you're going to get. So I'm going to go ahead and scuff the edges here. Again, I don't even actually hate this. I think it looks fine scuffed. I'm annoyed with myself that it went so crooked that I had to mess with it. But again, should have trimmed it down a little bit, but I didn't want to lose the puzzle piecey look too much, and I was a little bit worried if I cut that bottom piece down there, it might not look the same. So anyways, I finished scuffing this up, and then I'm going to do my little photo block. I'll glue it down in just a moment. I'm going to have to kind of reorganize myself here after fighting that border there. I always put washi tape, by the way. I didn't show y'all this on camera, but I always put washi tape on the back side there so I don't have the holes. It doesn't catch on stuff when I stick it in my page protectors and all that. I'm looking at this. I'm going to put this little photo block together, and then I will decide to put it up on foam as well. So I think I kind of look at this for just a second and then start pulling out my little stampy things, and then I think that's what I decide. You know what? You need to be on foam, Mr. Picture Block. I am going to use the little stamps here. I think I showed you to do my stitching. I kind of look at the different patterns, but I stick with my plain line here. So I'll run over and get me an acrylic block, and then you can see that, I guess. Oh, I forgot to do a little fadey thing. Anyway, you'll see me. I've got the little acrylic block. I've got my little corduroy ink. That's what I used on a different layout earlier this month also with this collection. I think it's a good color to go with it. And I'm going to lay this down. I try not to get the ink on it anywhere else. I got scared, y'all. This little block here was kind of a little bit unwieldy. I should have gotten my long, skinny one, and I was just being a little bit lazy. I didn't want to open that container. So this big one was a little bit unwieldy, and I thought, I'm going to drop this on here and be really upset in a minute. But I managed not to do that, so that was a good thing. But I did have to make sure I got the ink off the edges here, so I didn't want to drop it and make the wrong thing. So I just make these little lines. Those are going to end up being my little journaling spot when I kind of got it all assembled here. And I might should have come over to the left just a hair. I don't know. It's not real precise. You know, I'm just kind of sticking on here. It's not real precise. But it kind of, in some sense, I go, okay, this completes the stitching component of Tara's hop. But I'll actually do some stuff at the end to kind of add, because I thought, you know what, Christine, you kind of called it in on the stitching here. So I don't actually normally stitch. So for me, it's outside my norm. And I thought to myself after I did this and I kind of got done, I was like, you know what, you kind of called this one in. You gotta add a little something. So I will. Now at this point, I'm actually I've added the title. I did grab off the foam titles there. It says right now. And then I put Feeling Pretty from that little, it's actually October Afternoon, y'all. That's a little sheet of letters from October Afternoon. I didn't even realize I still had those in there. But the colors went really well, so I was happy with that. And then I'm just getting into all my little pieces of different stickers and things that are in my little collection here. So I'm going to pull out, I got that little rainbow, and there's another little rainbow that has a, little bit different style, kind of, in a sense. But they're still little rainbows. They still got colors, so it works. And then I'm going to pull out little butterflies, and I started to put the pink one up there, but then I realized I kind of need a little contrast on the green and all that. So I'm putting the butterflies. They're different sticker sheets, so they have slightly different styles, but they're, like I said, it's in my little kit here, so it's okay. They have all the same colors and stuff. And I'm just going back through the sticker sheets and stuff. I'm going to end up basically putting a couple of butterflies. I got the rainbows. I'm going to end up, there's some flowers. And I will get into my buttons in a minute. And that's another way I'm kind of trying to pay homage to the stitching, is these little faux buttons. Because they don't technically have stitching on them, but they remind me of stitching, because it's buttons. And so I'm just kind of trying to find a home for everything here. Here's where, that's actually little hearts, y'all. I said buttons. I'll do that in a second. I'm putting these little hearts and things down. What else do I have going on here? I guess I'll tell you about my little picture here. So I've mentioned this before, so apologies for those of you that have watched all the videos. I do go get my hair done. I get it done about every 3 weeks because I am very gray, y'all. I've been going gray since I don't even know. I've been coloring my hair for so long, for sure since my 20s. Although at the time I thought it was like fashion versus need. So I don't know really when I started going gray, but if I let it grow during COVID, I couldn't go get things done or whatever. And I was kind of being lazy because I didn't really have to do it. And y'all, I thought, I'll just kind of let it grow out and see what, no, that was terrible. It was I had gray all over my head, and it was like, I let it grow out like 2 or 3 inches. It ages me really bad, and I don't really like that. So, I tried blonde as a kid too. I think I've mentioned that a while back. I talked about the sun in and all that. I don't look good as a blonde though, y'all. It just doesn't flatter my skin tone. So I do like these darker colors. So I go to Madison Reed every 3 weeks. They have a good product. It doesn't smell, it doesn't damage your hair, things like that. And so every time I go, though, I always try to get the blowout. I just really feel pretty. So You know, they always ask me, what do you want done or whatever. And I'm like, honestly, I don't care. I just want you to make me look pretty. And they always do. So I always like the little curls and things like that. So I've got all my embellishments. I got my buttons. I got my butterflies. I got all the things. And then I started looking, I go, Christine, you called it in on the stitching. So here's what I'm going to do. The little faux stitching with a little brown pen all around the outside edges here. Because I go, well, okay, at least I'm adding a little extra stitching here, Tara. So I actually contemplated pulling out. I had like a little hole piercer and stuff, but I didn't do it. I need to do it on another layout, I guess, because it's not technically stitching, but at least you're poking holes, right? And then that's all I'm going to do the layout, y'all. I didn't add any extra mixed media or anything like that, even though the sketch kind of showed it. But there you go. Thanks for looking at the close-ups here. And sorry, I'm getting a text and it distracts me, and now I just randomly said that. So thanks so much. I did a little bit of journaling on there to how I get my hair done and stuff like that. So thanks so much for watching. Congratulate Tara. Make sure you go to her channel. She's adorable. I love her layout. She's really great. Make sure you do that. Oh, Iron Crafter. I think I told you guys all that. Anyways, have a great day. We'll see you soon. Bye.